Hi everyone! So today I started playing around with a new stamp set that I got and was making journal clips and stickers. And then I thought, wait a minute, my viewers might want to see this. So I thought, you know what, let's go hang out together and I'll show you what I'm doing. And even if you are not into planners or journals or mini albums, I still think you're going to like this. And also, I'll probably show you a tip or two. So come on, let's head on over and hang out and do this together.
Well, here we are at my craft table where I was surrounded by everything I was working with, and I'm trying to get it all organized here for the camera. But let me show you the stamp set because I absolutely love it, and it's called Flower Tag Stamps from In Love Arts. So all of these little tags have flowers on them and some extra flowers as well. But I love it. I mean, there's something for everything, happy moments to remind, my memories, happy days, special day, best moment. I mean, these are perfect for journals and planners and mini albums, but I think they're perfect for some other things too. So, using that, and I'm going to be using just a collection of cardstocks from Paper Temptress. So I kind of got a variety here. I'll tell you what each one is as we go along, but some are glossy, some are not, and a nice variety of colors. I just kind of grabbed these because I was just going to be playing around. I've got a variety of inks, some of them colored and some of them not so colored because they're embossing inks, and a white ink. I've got a big variety of embossing powders. We've got these paper clips. I got these for a dollar. Got them at the dollar store, and you get 80 of them, so you could go crazy with that. I got my little powdery thingy for embossing, and oh yeah, adhesives. If you're going to make stickers, maybe if you have a Xyron. If you don't have a Xyron, you can use double-sided tape or whatever you have so that you have the sticker stuff on the back, and have it ready so you don't have to do it at the last minute. Just have everything prepared, which is what I plan on doing. Here is a couple that I've made. This one I'm going to have as a sticker, and I have this heart. Oh my gosh, heart, a flower. I can't even talk straight. A flower that I'm thinking of adhering on there just like I did on this one. And this one is a paper clip. So it just, clips right on and looks really cool. So, I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh wait, of course, I've got my heat gun over here. So I think that's everything, and I'm going to kind of move this out of the way, and we are going to get started. So I wouldn't bore you with all of the stamping and embossing, which is pretty repetitive. I went ahead and I did all of the stamping and embossing ahead of time using a variety of embossing powders and a variety of cardstocks from Paper Temptress, and of course the flower tag stamps from In Love Arts. But if you would have preferred to see all of that stamping and embossing, please leave me a comment and let me know so I will know this for the future. But for today, I really wanted to make this a little bit quicker, and I am going to take you through each of the steps that I did and give you some ideas on decorating and using these. But before I get started on that, I did promise you a couple of tips, and I'm going to share those with you right now. So both of the tips I'm going to share with you today are in regard to using embossing powders. So a lot of you have these little pouches with powder in it, and you rub it over the surface that you're going to be using the embossing powder on so that the embossing powder only sticks to your stamped image. And this doesn't always work for me, or I don't always like the powder residue it leaves behind, and maybe some of you don't even have one of these. So a great alternative is a fabric softener sheet. And we all probably have these around the house, and if not, you can pick up a box of them at the dollar store. And this works really great. You just rub the surface and you rub it really good. Don't just kind of swipe it a couple times, but rub over it really good. And that will help prevent the embossing powder from sticking all over your cardstock where you don't want it. And my second tip. So you end up with embossing powder all over the place. I mean, even if you have it on a paper and you dump it back into the jar, it's kind of like glitter. It kind of gets everywhere. So this tip actually works for glitter as well. And what I use is a Swiffer. These are little sheets that you can get. They're nice and soft and fuzzy, and they attach to the bottom of a sweeper for your floor. And they also make them for dusting as well. And I just use these to wipe up any excess glitter or embossing powder, and it all clings to it. Let me see if I can get it to focus so you can see, because I have used this. Let's try this side. Yeah, I'm not showing up, but it just all clings to this beautifully. And so that is my other tip for when you are doing heat embossing. So here's a collection of them that I made, and the first thing I want to say is you don't have to do heat embossing on these. This was my choice. You can just stamp them, like this one has just been stamped. And for that I used a multicolor stamp pad, and then I colored in the flower with some glitter gel pen. So you can just stamp them if you want. You can take things like, Wink of Stella or the Close to My Heart shimmer brush and go over it and give it some sparkle. You'll see other things that I did to embellish these as we go along. And so that one is just stamped, and this one is upside down. This one I used a glittery embossing powder. And here's another one where I just used a clear embossing powder over the top. And for all three of those, including this one actually as well, for all of those, I used this Heavenly White cardstock from Paper Temptress, and it is 120 pound, and it's really smooth. There's no texture to it, and I really like it. And so I used that. And also, as you can see, I added some gems to this one. So just an idea of decorating. And let me move those aside. And here's another one that I added some little flowers to, even though it already has, flowers behind it. Let me grab this one. It has flowers already on it, just like that. And then I tied a ribbon on the end of the paper clip. And you could tie, all kinds of stuff to it, or add some beads and charms and, whatever it is that you want to add. And for that one, I used, let me see where it's at right here. It's a really nice cardstock. This one actually does feel like it might have a little texture to it, but it is really smooth. And it is called Mango Sorbet, and it's 100 pound. And then let's see, what else have I done here? Oh, here, we'll just go to this one. This one, I not only did the heat embossing, it is really sparkly, but I also added some rhinestones all over it. So just another thing that you can do. And that one was this school bus yellow glossy cardstock right here. And all of these cardstocks are pretty sturdy. I think I would definitely use sturdy cardstock to do this, but I think you can use whatever you have. And what else do we got here? Here's some more that were embossed with different embossing powders. And, this one I added a flower to. I'm thinking about adding one to this one as well. This one I think I'm going to leave just the way that it is. And the color is not showing up really good on here for those colors, but those are really purple. It's grape popsicle, and it's also glossy. It's premium glossy cardstock, and it's really pretty. So I really like that purple. As you can see, I used it a lot here. And here are a couple more. This one, I tied some fuzzy yarn off the end of. And I'm going to show you that you can make these so that the clips go either direction. So they don't all have to go one direction. For example, these two, they go opposite directions. And here's another one, and I just added some rhinestone to the flowers. And so those right there, I used this. This is like my favorite in the whole world here. So this is teal, and it's called Teal Basis. And It is 80-pound cardstock, and the color is just not, let me see if I can get it in a different position. It is just gorgeous. This is like my favorite of all of these colors. This is my favorite, believe it or not. And so that's what I've done. I just used a variety of embossing powders, a variety of inks, including this, which is a pigment one, as well as, you know, the embossing inks, and made all of these. And now I am going to show you, I've showed you some ideas on decorating, and there's a lot more. I'm sure you'll have a million ideas, but now I'm going to show you how easy it is to turn these into clips and stickers. So I'm using these paper clips that I got from the dollar store. So 80 of them for $1. You can make 80 clips with these. And they come in a variety of colors, as you can see. And I'm going to be putting this onto a clip. And I'm going to use one of the white ones, which is kind of bad for this background. So what I've brought in is a piece of scrap cardstock that is dark. And mostly because I think you should use one anyway. So the reason why is when you put the paper clip on, this way I'm doing this so you can see it, you are going to want to add your adhesive right here. You are not going to want to add it to this small piece on the back. And if you have it clipped on something like this, it will also help prevent you from getting glue back there, because you don't want to glue your paper clip together. So it's really simple. You decide which way you want this to go. Do you want your clip to go on that way, so it slides on this way? Or do you want it to slide on from the other direction? And so you would put your piece on here. I would call these die cuts, but I fussy cut these all out. They actually have a die for this, though. I didn't get it, so I fussy cut them all out. But anyways, you just decide which way you want it to go, and then you apply your adhesive. Now I'm using my Beacon 3-in-1, and my lid seems to be having a moment here. So I'm going to take my beacon, and I'm just going to put it along that part of the paper clip, just like that. So on the larger side, not the smaller side. And then I'm just going to take this, which now has pieces of glue on it. Not really, it was dried glue. And I am going to put this right on the clip, just like that. Okay, so now we have that adhered to the front and the back is not. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and pull it off. Okay, and then you can, check it out, make sure you have it right where you want it. And you're going to let that dry, and you'll see that there's this end. Now, depending on, which of these you use, there may or may not be an end showing, but if there is, you can always tie something to that, just like I did with, let me grab this one. Okay, so I just tied that on there. But like I said, you could tie, beads and charms and ribbons and whatever you want, but that is how easy it is to do that. And then you just let it dry. And if you want, you can go ahead and leave it attached to the cardstock while it dries. Just make sure that it's not sticking to the cardstock. So that's how easy it is to add that. And here's the back of that one, just so you can see, what these look like. And they're not on the little part like I showed you. It is just on the big part. Okay, so now what if you want to make it a sticker? Because I think it's a cool idea to make up a bunch of these and have the adhesive already on the back. You can put these in an envelope or a little box. And so when you are doing your planners or your journals or your mini albums, you have them ready to go. I mean, special day. That would also be great in a mini album or a scrapbook. So this is how I would do it. First thing I would do is move my beacon glue out of the way. And if you don't have a Xyron, which I have, and I have it in different sizes, this is just the smallest one, but if you don't have a Xyron, you can always use double-sided tape. So it's really easy. You just put your double-sided tape on the back, but you leave the protective wrapper, or covering, not wrapper, but you leave that on. And that way when you're ready to use it, you just peel it off and stick it in. Or you can just run it through the Xyron, which is what I did with this one right here. So now it's ready for me to peel off and stick where I want it. And I'm going to keep a whole envelope of these, and they'll be ready to go whenever I need them. So this is a project that you actually sit down and just kind of do all at once. But like I said, if you don't have a Xyron, then let me bring this over here so I can see what I'm doing. White on white is hard on camera, but it's even hard in person. So I'm just going to take a piece of my double-sided tape and put it right across the back. And now, when I'm ready, I'll just peel off that protective layer and stick this where I want it. So, I love how the light is so bright. Oh my gosh, usually it's not bright enough. Okay, so there you go. That is how you make these. That is so easy to put them on the back of the paper clips. It's easy to put your adhesive on the back. Easy to decorate. So many decorating possibilities. You know, put on little flowers, little gems. Use stamps. Use, embossing powders. Use, oh my gosh, anything you have. Decorate them up. I just wanted to show you how easy it is that you can take something like this stamp set and just do stamping and embossing, however you want to do it. Fussy cut them out, or be smarter than me and get the die that cuts these out. And, like I said, paper clips, $1 for this whole pack of them. So this is really an inexpensive and fun thing to do, and you can get as creative as you want.
Thank you all for hanging out with me today, and I hope this gave you some ideas of your own. And don't forget, below in the description box, just click where it says show more and it'll drop down, and I will have links to the papers that I used today, well, to Paper Temptress, because I'm not going to link to every single paper. You can just look at them all while you're there. And also a link to In Love Arts and to the stamp set that I used, and any other products that I can think of that I can find links to, and also a link to Crafter's Castle Challenge where you can enter your creations. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.